And well, good evening, good evening, good evening again, and welcome to RRC Redline Racing Community's TNR Tuesday Night Racing. I'm Scrappy Doo, and we're taking you through, I wouldn't really say qualifying and the race, but today is a little bit different. We're spiced up on the Tuesday, and I've got the very, very good pleasure of bringing you, kind ladies and gentlemen, to the heart of the action on a Tuesday night. Normally I'm spending my time practicing for the Wednesday night event, but today I'm here looking after you all, and obviously what a nice song to bring us into that, which brings us into, for anyone who's actually seen my streams before, I like to go through the drivers from the event and just get to know them, get on the cars, a bit of background about exactly who they are and how they tick. So starting first things first with Mr. T-Bone himself, Mr. Jonathan Cox, currently leading the Drivers' Championship by an assailable points. In the parts margin, his Red Bull really only has to have a strong finish in the next two races. Perhaps by China we will see him crowned as TNR's new champion for this season. His fellow teammate Stringy, not doing too badly in the Drivers' Championship. Very, very strong driver, and actually the pairing have shown that's why this Red Bull is so strong. But realistically, there's a few guys out there, especially in the gold event tonight, and T-Bone is 100% going to be one of the guys to look out for. Second in the Drivers' Championship is Alfa Romeo. We're currently looking at here the drivers of Liam and GFO Leclerc. I'll be referring to him today as Leclerc. Now, again, very strong pairing, 116 points down in the Constructors' Championship, and Leclerc is currently third in the Drivers' Championship. Both the GFO guys of Leclerc and Seb really pushing the apron today, and as seen in the other leagues, it's not uncommon to see an Alpha on top of the podium. So very, very good luck to Alpha tonight. Moving on to Renault, the pairing of GFO Seb. I'll be calling him Seb today, and Doogie669. I hope I've pronounced his name correctly. For Seb himself, again, he's been driving the day for me plenty of times in the FNR Gold event there. I just missed a bit consistency. Seeing a few races, picking up, I think it was France, making a bit of an issue. I had to drive through the field. He's been driving the day for me. I remember him getting his very first points, and it was very well deserved then. Doing not a driver I'm familiar with. Looking at his standings in the championship, it's pretty fair. So that's hopefully see him get a top 10 tonight. Going on to McLaren, my team from WNR. So again, they got my backing tonight. The driver pairing of VRM, and VRM has, I'll be trying to pronounce his name correctly as ever tonight, and probably calling him Has, with it's rolled to the tongue a bit easier. And Matty A. Smith. Now, honestly, I don't know a lot about these two. They're in a very, very good tie around Silverstone tonight, so we're expecting fireworks from this pairing. Moving on to the Racing Point duo, about to be renamed and rebadged for next season in Formula One. Again, so old boy, do you remember him from Friday Night Racing quite a while ago? It'd be nice to see him back in action tonight. And his teammate of Titch 91, again a name I do vaguely recognise for being fast, and unfortunately from my point, getting past me a few times. So I'm actually quite happy I'm not racing against him tonight, I should say. Moving on to the Haas duo. So the Haas duo we've got down as Jared and Optics. Again, Jared, a name I do recognise. Optics not so much. So good luck to these two in the championship. Ferrari, we've got Bagos and Extremist. Now again, two names, and doing pretty well. One of them actually doing pretty well in the Drivers' Championship. Extremist with him and Jared really fighting it for bragging rights in the Ferrari camp. Moving on to the other end of Williams. Now, amazingly, to see these two of Toon Fan and Maverick right down the bottom of the Constructors' Championship. Now, these two, very, very familiar with their work, and for Toon Fan and for Maverick, very, very surprised to see these two down at the bottom order of the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship. And then that brings us on to the final team, the silver or black Mercedes for this team of Jordan and Walker. Now, for Jordan has pretty much taken the FNR by shock, and he's actually got 2 out of 2 in the last of the 2 races competed in. So there is going to be fireworks from him. He is definitely one to look out for tonight. I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on him. Walker, not familiar with him, but I tell you what, if you've got Jordan as a teammate, you have got something to watch out for. So, as previously, obviously, I've been admitted that T-Bone has got a commanding lead in the Drivers' Championship, 92 points, and he can clinch that by 2 races' time, doing the maths theoretically in my head. The 2 GFOs of Seb and Leclerc chasing after him, the bragging rights for the fastest GFO driver. The VOM has not doing too badly at all, point scoring, with Titch, Jared and Stringy bringing up 6th, 7th positions. Now, very aware of the time, we'll go live just to see who has got into the lobby. I'm hearing very, very strict in Tuesday Night Racing about what time everyone gets in, so I'm going to make an appearance and make sure we are in there long before the green flag goes out. So, one key thing I only learned very, very recently about this league is the fact that it is reverse qualifying order from championship position. So no 15 minutes, not even one hot lap to put your fastest time on. It is quite literally championship order. Now, as not everyone has confirmed, I'm looking down here, Walker, it should be, if all 18 are competing tonight, it would be Matthew Smith on pole, Walker, Dewey, Jord, Toon Fan, the Flaming Nugget, followed by Maverick, Bagos, the Old Boy, I Am, Extremist, Stringy, Jarrett, Titch, VOM has, Leclerc, Seb, and T-Bone Coxey. Now, looking through here, I cannot see, can we see Matty's name down here? He is. So he will start from pole position. Confirmation of that looking down here. We've got Matty, we've got Walker, so he will start from second, so that's your front row. Now, do we have Dewey in here? Hopefully we do, to have as many drivers as possible. Well, we can see Jordan there, and if he's starting from the back, he is going to be on fire around here, coming from the last 2 circuits that we've seen. So him, one really to look out for. The 2 GFO guys as well, in the form of Seb and Leclerc, having their own little private battle. And as discussed as well, it's never ever count out Toon or Maverick. Very low points on those 2, and far below their potential in both the car and themselves. So 100% look out for them. It is going to be fireworks today. Now, Silverstone, 50% race, shortly coming up, and it will obviously be a track of tyre wear. Now, this circuit doesn't really push the tyre wear as much as everywhere else does out there. So, it's very much like your Monzas, where you can nurture the tyres, really look after the tyres and make them last. So don't expect to see some of these faster guys starting from the back on that medium tyre. Of course, they've got to come through the field. But then again, is the likes of Jord going to be up there, or Jord or Toon going to be up there and just putting the pressure on these guys? And like a lot of the leagues we've got out there today, it's where you get a qualifying session, 15 minutes, it could be 3 sessions, or even a hot lap. This is unlike this. Very, very good racing, very good concept. Very new to me, but a very, very good concept. And of course, you've got the fact of open setups into the mix, so these drivers can pick their own setup. They spend hours and hours developing that setup to make it perfect. But of course, you're not counting out the tyre wear running on time trial laps. The tyre deck doesn't happen, and perhaps to see the end of the race, especially as we saw in the 1000th Grand Prix, the Mercedes tyres blowing up towards the later stages. So expect that as well. Pretty much expect the unexpected from Silverstone. That is the total message out there. So we're looking at just 2 minutes to go until the Silverstone British Grand Prix. Very, very excited about this myself. A lot of the drivers in the field sporting the British and English flags. So, and of course it'll be a home race for them. And of course we've got a lot of different flags out there today from all over the place, from Italy, from Greece, from Ireland, from Saudi Arabia, South Africa going through there. So, and of Greece as well looking through here. So are we going to see a British driver even win the race, if not get on a podium? Of course, it's a race that Everyone wants to win their own races. Everyone wants to win their home race. Now, are we going to see a British driver or an English driver on top of the podium today, or even on the podium as well? We are yet to find out. And we're trying to read out as many as your comments as possible. I can see some just popping up. We've got a couple of minutes. Have a quick look at this live chat here. If anyone does want to send me any questions on there, and Optics putting out to have a good race, lads. I think that's echoed up and down the grid. So very, very good luck to Optics out there tonight. T-Bone, obviously, he's got multitasking. This guy, he can message and he can be getting ready for his race car all day long. Not bad for a guy that normally rams into the sides of you. That's why he got the nickname T-Bone. If anyone didn't know what I was talking about. He's constantly referred up and down the grid to T-Bone. I'm very, very happy to tell you guys that I was the person that did come up with the nickname himself. So I'm very proud that seems to have got out to many ashore. So time bordering 8 o'clock here. Still got a couple of minutes to go. So this point is when the nerves start coming in. So this is when you're thinking, have I done enough practice? Have I got the right setup? Is it going to rain? Of course, I haven't talked about the rain. The rain around Silverstone. Of course, you can't push it into the beautiful Beckett's, Maggots and Chapel. You have to really get off. And a lot of drivers will put a lot of time and a lot of effort into testing out for the dry setup and the best setup they can possibly get in the dry. And of course, it can rain. It can absolutely rain being Silverstone. In fact, last year, the Silverstone Grand Prix, in the morning when I went there, I got there off the bus, it was raining. And I was waiting for a wet race and it dried up. So it can happen. Okay, it's a game. It can always happen in the race, and it's get echoed in by Codemasters themselves. We've seen it many a time before where a race can be put across wet and dry. And this place is an ice rink when it comes down to the wet. Very much a rhythm circuit as well, which I'll talk you through a little bit later in the race when we get a time. It's all about the fast flowing corners here of Silverstone. We can see someone here, the Flaming Nugget, getting a little bit anxious and wanting to go for 8 o'clock. So, looking through the grid order, how many do we have in here? We have 15 so far. It's good to see this amount of drivers in the lobby. I'll be trying to go through a bit of analysis. Of course, these drivers will be starting on fresh tyres, so don't be surprised to see some of the guys at the back going for the hard or the medium tyre. The hard to soft is definitely possible around here, and for the drivers that really want to push it, of course, a safety car may even come into aspect. Maybe expect them to even see them start on the medium tyre at the back and really have to hold those tyres together, making a pit stop right at the end of the session or at the end of the race to make their one and only pit stop and hopefully come out as high as possible and fight. That's what we're going to looking forward to, especially with the DRS zones around here, is a fight for the end, for the last bragging rights at the end of the race. Pardon me, quick water break needed for myself. So now the time just over 8 o'clock, so we should be going green on the grid very, very shortly. I'm guessing the admin's just trying to sort out the grid order and just making sure that everyone is in the correct position. Of course, because it's championship standings, it does put another aspect in for the admin team at RRC, so very, very well done to that. Very, very well done to the admin team for doing this. So the wait is nearly over. You can pretty much feel the tension. And of course, it's quite nice on a Tuesday with no Grand Prix during the week to be able to have your focus on the e-racing side of things, not just the F1 side during the week. Now, Silverstone, one circuit that I will tell you 100% of, it's in the other races that were around, other leagues I should say, that were around, corner cutting. Now, this being the gold event, and obviously the highlight of RRC racing, you shouldn't see as many penalties But unfortunately, around Silverstone, one of those circuits that if you push the boundaries, if you hold those curves, you ride those curves too much, you are going to get the penalties. And we could see points, if not a race, decided on those penalties. So we're trying to keep an eye on those as well, and let you guys know exactly what we've now got. 17 in the field, so we've got another 2 drivers starting, which is even better. And I will say a big heads out to Monopono, who is racing tonight's first appearance in the Tuesday night event. Hopefully he's listening. I do know he was doing some testing in that Williams and trying to make sure that he is ready for tonight's events, obviously being gold. Doing pretty well for himself in a few of the other events, the Wednesday and Friday leagues that he races in. So very good luck to Mono. I do remember the Wednesday night event having a good battle myself with Mono. Just a bit of consistency he needs just to put himself, to propel himself. This guy is a qualifier, and unfortunately he's missing the qualifying session today. Hope someone's told him that no qualifying. And myself and Mono having our own kind of intimate battle in all the leagues we race in together. There's only a few tenths behind between me and Mono in the race situations and qualifying. So here we go, we are going live to the grid, live to Silverstone for what should be a reverse grid start. Now, formation lap down is coming up. This is the one and only time the drivers are going to get to warm the tyres up, warm the brakes up, get used to the braking points going into turn 1, practice that start if they haven't done before. Now, a lot of drivers don't practice the starts, which I think is absolutely crazy. I'm the one that basically has to practice the starts all day long, just to make sure every part of your game is ready and as good as it can be for when all 5 lights go out. Message from Ashley Armstrong saying good luck guys and keep it clean. Absolutely, let's hope for a good clean race between everyone. Smith also going on to saying good luck to all. And Optics has just basically said that he has just made it in. So again, good luck to everyone out there. I will try and spend as much time as I possibly do going through the drivers, and apologies in advance if I do call anyone's name incorrectly. I'm sure I'll get some clever remarks afterwards anyway. And of course the curse of the Murray Walkers. So we have gone to the pit lane, expecting to see the formation lap. This is the point now where anyone that's not watching, the drivers are putting their strategy on. They're sorting out exactly how much fuel they're going to put in the car. They do start with fresh tyres, but they get to pick what tyres they want. It's not like in qualifying with the top 10. I've got to pick, I've got to keep the tyres, the fastest tyres from the fastest lap in qualifying. They do get that option here to be able to pick exactly what tyres they want. And also as well, the only thing is we don't know if it's going to be dry. The drivers are going to know this. I can't see it right yet. When I do know, I'll be telling you. And of course, unfortunately, we have to look at the skies for the race and just see how much praying for a dry race the drivers will be. And of course, me, you and everyone else watching will be hoping for the rain maybe to get involved to spice up the racing a little bit longer. So all the drivers ready on the parade lap. And Optics and Madas does start the formation lap. So getting the bike point ready for the tyres. So Optics starting on the first position, being the lowest grid starter. So hopefully starting on the soft tyres. Hopefully we can see him progress back through and hold as many points as possible going through the order. So Matt Smith, I like him starting from the soft tyres. They're going to be trying to push as far forward as possible in the race, as is Walker starting from the soft tyre. So the front 3 starting from the softs. We're going to expect to see them relatively coming relatively quickly. As my next point comes up, we're looking at 14 laps. So hopefully there, Jeweled. Now this guy is the one to watch. He's starting from 4th on the grid. He's on the soft tyre. How long can he make these tyres work? His teammates starting directly above him on the grid. So how long will Mercedes have to stagger their starts? As you can see, Team Fan also going for the soft tyres. Flaming Nugget also on softs. Puppy on softs. Fisher's on softs. Cyro is the first driver that will start on the medium tyre. so he will be after as many positions as possible to start. Extremely starts from the soft tyre. So again, we've got a mixture there in the top drivers. And then we've got Stringy. He's opting for the mediums. It's all about the long game for Stringy today. And Jared behind him is the complete opposites, 2 by 2. Jared going for the soft tyre. We can see there that a few drivers, George, been eliminated in 2, and they were close together on the grid. So unfortunately would have hit each other. That's the reason that they've been disqualified. Soft tyres for them as they come back. Puppy will start from 13th. He is on the soft right of the soft tyre, as is VRM Hazard, again on the softs. Who is that? GFO, it's Leclerc on the top, starting on mediums. You've got Seb starting from the softs, T-Bone on the hard tyre, and Mono on the softs as well. So a complete mixture there of drivers starting from soft and hard tyres. And we will try and cover them all as we physically or possibly can. So 18 starters today, all 18 in their grid positions, including the drivers that were disqualified from the first lap. It's not going to have any impact on the race apart from some slightly hard tyres as we get ready for the start of the TNR Silverstone Grand Prix. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, hold. And we go. And Optics makes a pretty good start from pole position. As does Matt, they are holding position there, and there's contact already into turn 1. And Matt is all over the circuit. Unfortunate for him, he's going straight to the back, and straight from the front, and straight to the back, within 3 corners. So Walker's up there, Flying Nugget is down to third, and there's more contact in the middle of the field. There's front wings going everywhere. No safety car or virtual safety car yet, from what we can see. And we've got a car which is ghosting right in the middle as we watch Cyro. Let's go back to the start, front of the pack, and see the winners and losers there from the first lap. They've really backed off. It must have been a safety car or a virtual safety car, as we can see there. They're really backing off. I'm not seeing anything from a safety car out there yet. Maybe just a yellow flag or a virtual safety car given. So the big winners and losers in that. So Optics has got off very, very well. And unfortunately, the biggest loser there, unfortunately, is Matt Smith falling down 15 places, as we can see on the screen. And we can see Jordan also making a mistake there. He's getting passed all over the place. He's down to P7, make that P8. Those soft tyres seems to have gone completely off. The front wing looks to be intact on his Mercedes. And he's really struggling to control the car. He's taking out bollards and everything, so Jules really up against it. He was my highlight of the race, waiting to see him slice through the order. He started relatively high up. I'm still trying to see if he's got a broken front wing or issues with the car, which is really pushing him down the order. As we can see, Stringy there getting himself a 5-second penalty. So he's come in and he's given himself a penalty. Hopefully he can serve it in the pit lane. T-Bone right at the back still, so definitely contact with him on the first lap. You can see the front right of his car is definitely broken, and that is the points leader in the championship, currently in 18th place. The guys at the front are not going to know it, as Walker and VSL Optics trying to get their heads down on the soft tyre to really pull away, as we can see Optics there falling behind. Let's go back. Apologies, that is a issue with the telemetry scheme. I should have known that. It does that at the start of the race. It's showing Puppy Jr. I'm sure he'd love to be at the front of the race. He's not, so it is still Walker that leads the race. His Optics in second. He's got 8 tenths. He will get DRS this lap. Flame Nugget is third. We've got Toon Fan in fourth. Extreme is fifth. We've got Leclerc 6th. And we've got Vion Hazard in 7th. Fisher's 8th. Sorrow 9th. And Seb in 10th. As we can look at the battle here for 17th and 18th. And we can see Jules really going for it. It's Jules and Stringy in the other Red Bull. So really not a good day for Red Bull, we have to say. And you've really got to watch those curves. You can see the battle for the lead between Optics and Walker really battling it out. Toon Fan gets himself a 3-second time penalty as we're watching back here. It's the battle for second position. Flaming Nugget surely is going to get DRS on the next straight. The overtake button completely open round the outside. And can he make it stick? He's in all the curb and more. And he does make it out. They spin. And Optics loses it. Maybe contact between the two cars. Big shame now all very close and in a very unsafe release back to the racetrack there for Optics. So he's got it all to do. Maybe the stewards maybe now look at that after the race. Who's to know in that battle there? As it's all going off, isn't it, in Silverstone? I said there'd be fireworks, and there really has. And this is the lap that the DRS does come out. Of course, 3 laps from the start of the race is when we need the DRS chain to come in, and Optics really not getting used to the car. I doubt the tyres will have gone off yet, and he's going to have Leclerc all over the back of him, and he's already passed him on those medium tyres. So time ready for Optics to really regroup. We'll try and go back to the closest battle on the track, which is looking like 10th, 11th and 12th for Puppy Jr. and Matt Smith. As he ride on board with the Haas, and Seb's retired. Now, has he had enough, or is that an issue with the car? Can't see there exactly what's happened. So we have a driver out. Are we going to see the first or the safety or virtual safety car come out? And yes, it does look that way, especially with the way the drivers are going. I can't see, there's nothing official yet to say if it's a safety car or virtual safety car. Trying to see officially on there. Everyone's pinning, so my guess would be it is going to be an actual safety car. It hasn't come up on the screen yet. Now, what do? So this is really going to help the guys on that medium tyre. The guys on the stop pretty much feel that they have to pit. Flaming Nugget takes the lead of the race. As you can see, leaders coming in. Now, the guy that's front wing damage, of course, there for 2. That's the reason why it's taking longer. The big winners and losers in this are going to be the guys that were starting on the medium tyre. So GFO stayed out, Leclerc stayed out, Fishers, it looks like he stayed out as well. And the rest of them that came in. Now, what tyres did Walker go for? Walker's opted for the hard tyre, hoping that he can last till the end of the race. He's going to have a big gamble in his hands, as has Extremis there, currently in 5th. Optics, apart from his trip over the gravel today, he's in 6th, have gone for the hard tyre. They're gambling, of course, these guys, really rolling the dice that they can make the one stop. I'm not 100% sure, everyone's getting time penalties. Multiple drivers with 3-second time penalties, so another one. Big shame, that's for cutting corners. So, as the safety car is definitely out, it's really a time for these guys to pit. Hazard moving up there for 6 positions off his grid start. So, really, as we're going through the top 10, Flaming Nugget is leading. He's at 5 positions from his grid start. Let's go back to him really quickly. He's under virtual safety car conditions, so don't worry about the gap here. We've got Leclerc currently in 2nd place. Big winner, 13 places up. He's on the medium tyre. He has not stopped. We have then got Fishers in 3rd position, taking the gravel. He hasn't stopped, up 5 positions from his good start, and again, he has not stopped. The first of the stoppers is Walker. He's opted for the hard tyres, falling down 1 position, but he was in control of this race. Extremis, he's up for 5 places, and he has stopped, so he's in a very comfortable position here. We've got VSL Optics opting that basically today the hard tyre is not the way to go. He's gone for the mediums. Toon Fan, he's 7th. New front wing for Toon, unfortunately a penalty as well. He's in 7th, so hopefully a good point for him, down 2 places from his grid start. Then we have the big winners. We've got Buren Hazard up by 6 places off his grid position, trying to warm up those medium tyres. Then we've got Jared behind him, just 3 places up for him. Beautiful helmet, I must say, for Jared in his Haas car. We've then got Puppy down there in 10th, the last of the points runners. So he's also gone for the hard tyre. So again, he has stopped. Mono 11th on the break of the points. These guys really gambling on these hard tyres today if they can make it the remaining, 22 laps of this race. We are finding out. So we've already had, multiple incidents of turn 1. We've got 1 guy out of the race in the form of GFO Seb, and we've also had a safety car which is still currently out. Stringy's down there in 12th, down 1 position from his grid start. So hopefully more for him in the Red Bull. It really has been Red Bull's day so far, so hopefully the tyre will change for them. Puppy Jr., big loser unfortunately. He has pitted, he has come in for the hard tyre. Jules, another big loser in this. You saw him in his turn 1 incident. He has come in. I think it's a new front wing as well for his Mercedes. So he started on the soft tyre, Jules, so definitely he's the guy to be pushing in the middle part of this race. Spyro, he hasn't really pushed up in this race. He's back on the soft tyre. He must have stopped looking at his position. We've got Matt Smith down there, unfortunately down 14 positions. He did start towards the top part of this race. You can see T-Bone trying to come back through the order. He's currently last in 17th. new tyres, but this guy is going to be battered with the first one to battle as they come back through. So, safety car, I'm trying to see when it will come in. Let's just move our telemetry around just to show you. I'm not worried about the map, I'm more concerned about the tyres personally. Okay, so that's confirmation of the top three that have stopped. T-Bone's been to the pits twice in this race. I wonder if you actually get any more commission for winning more points for stopping. Maybe someone to tell T-Bone that you don't get any extra points for stopping. This will be the safety car in this lap. The Flaming Nugget, what can he do? Really giving the cars some distance there. The cars behind him really trying to push the tyre and keep the tyre grip in there. Now, interestingly, you do want to be watching the On The Grid podcast and see the safety car driver, his thoughts. Very, very interesting read to the obviously the F1 audience out there. About 45 minutes, the On The Grid with Bert Mylander. Fantastic listen. Put it on your podcast, put it on YouTube. It is fantastic. Nice to see that no one has taken out the 50 or 100 metre boards, that they're still in place, and the virtual marshals have put them back. Very, very important there for drivers to have, obviously, the braking points. As you can see, Flaming Nugget really trying to flame up his tyres, so to speak, make those red tyres even hotter than what they are now. So, watch out for the guys coming back through the field that started A from the back, or the guys that basically have stopped. So just the 6 laps for the front 3. They've done 6 more laps, and there's nearly collisions between the top 2 of Leclerc and Nugget. And saved there by a couple of metres, and we've really got to be careful. As you can see, Leclerc, pardon me, really trying to push his tyres. So now they're all going to have ERS. They're not going to have DRS for 3 laps. And iFisher's got the best seat in the house. So iFisher's going to be wanting these top 2 to bang wheels into each other again. Let's hope for everyone's sake that doesn't. But we've got iFisher sitting there in 3rd position, in a good place. If these two have a battle off the start and do have issues, he'll be the first driver to capitalise. So we are looking at the lead in this race of Flaming Nugget, hoping that his tyres don't flame too much for this restart. And that's race control. Safety car will come in on this lap. We are going to see, so when does Flaming Nugget decide to push the right pedal, the gas pedal, the fast pedal, whatever you want to call it? He's coming down the Stowe corner now. He's got 16 drivers behind him, 17 including himself. He's into 4th gear, into Stowe corner. Beautiful view down here. And coming out of Stowe is when he decides to push the accelerator down. Now, has he gone too early? It's like a pretty good restart to me. As we can see, some of the guys, they cannot move until they go across the line, of course. And let's go back to the leader just to see if there's any position change at the front. Pretty good restart there, in my eyes, from Flaming Nugget. They all seem to be pretty well controlled down there on the middle part of the field. Let's go back just to the telemetry and have a quick look to see if we can pick up in any position moves. Gyro seems to have gone down a couple of positions there, unfortunately. As position change, we're still looking. Who is that? It's Toonfan, currently down in P7. Well, they're all going to have ERS. It's not just the 1 or 2 that are going to have it. Walker's currently the fastest lap, currently holds the fastest lap of the race, and that extra point is going to be watching to push up into the top 3. He's the first guy that has not stopped. We can see the McLaren back there, really jostling for position, and makes it there, or has it. Him and Toon look like battling for position. And Stringer gets himself, unfortunately, a penalty. That is going to be for jumping the curbs I was talking about in the intro for this race. Unfortunately, it is going to be, as we're going to try and follow the closest gaps for the cars down there. As you can see, it's Stringy there making a move, and he does make the move, so Rebel up a position against Puppy. So down Stowe corner, Puppy's going to try and attack him. He doesn't want to take too much curve there, does Puppy. As now we're going back to the lead, and we have seen a lead change there. As Flaming Nugget unfortunately missing out the last corner. Fisher takes the lead. Walker goes second, and Flaming Nugget is down from first to fourth in the blink of an eye. And we're not going to be finished yet, as we can see Walker really having a go there at Fishers for what will be the overall lead of this race. Big shame for Flaming Nugget. He's looking at a gold medal, and he's gone all the way down to fourth in the blink of an eye. We saw the end part of that. As we can see now, Walker's going to be all about getting after Fishers on very different compounds of tyres, these two. And there's a mistake there from Fishers, and Walker's going to be all over the back of him. He needs to get past. So those soft tyres and Fishers have done 8 laps or 7 laps longer than what Walker's has. 6-8 made a mistake, and there's a pressure mate out. And that is Fisher's mistake, it looks like, getting on the fast pedal a bit too quickly. Big shame for him, and everyone's going to benefit from that. Jonathan Cox up to P9, would you believe? And just as predicted, he has absolutely cut through the field like a hot knife through butter. Fishers goes to the back of the field because of the incident we were watching at. Jonathan Cox has now got his teammate ahead of him, as we can see Leclerc and Walker really battling for second and third in this race. And Flaming Nugget, it goes from bad to worse for him. He's having to pit. It's going to be wing damage. That's the reason why he's coming. And unfortunately, his race does not seem like it's getting anywhere fast. Toon really trying to make a break for the podium place. So we can see T-Bone putting the fastest lap of the race. He's got his teammate directly ahead of him. The two Red Bulls are battling, and surely he's going to have to give way there, Stringy. He has got tie contact. That's okay between the two Red Bulls. And that was so close between them as they come down to the factory infield section. We call it factory there. Farm field or farm, whatever it's called, the section of course. I should know I've sat here. These two really battling. We can see they're Jared probably the best, having the best view of the half of 5th, 4th and 3rd position, wanting to get involved in that very colourful helmet. Daniel Ricciardo would be very proud of that. As we can see, it's the battle for overall 3rd position. Toon getting himself another penalty. Big shame there for Toon. Now Leclerc is going to be wanting to get out there and get away from the DRS zone. DRS will be activated on this lap, and you can see how much T-Bone has come in the last 5 laps through the field like a hot knife through butter. He's going to be up there with him, but the problem is who can stop him. He hasn't got duelled. He's been very strong in some of the other leagues. It's not going to be 3 out of 3 for him by the looks of things, as speaking of Leclerc, he does do the fastest lap of the race. So on those medium tyres, T-Bone then just beats him for the fastest lap of the race. You can see the train of cars. So T-Bone is just joining the train. He's got his ticket for the train. He's ready for the train for 6th, 5th, 4th and 3rd position. So, and is he going to take off his first victory? He goes on the McLaren of Hazard. He's putting his Red Bull all kinds of places on the racetrack. He was lucky he's bought a ticket, because the ticket inspector's about to throw him off the train now. His DRS completely open as it is on Hazard's car. Big braking move for him, being very brave there, T-Bone. Fantastic move down the inside of him. Everyone ahead of him is going to have to be on the side of caution here, as we can see Puppy losing places down. He's falling down to all the way down there. The two puppies having a fight. That's a pretty nice opportunity, as we can see the two puppies, well, senior and junior at the moment. Puppy senior, sorry, is the one with bragging rights in at 10th place. As we can see T-Bone really fighting back through the field again. And who's that? Toon out of the race. That's Toon out of the race. He did miss it. He was watching a few of the drivers ahead of us. Toon out. Big disappointment for him. No points. He was running up there in 3rd position. It was a fantastic race so far for him. And big shame for him. Well, better luck next time. He's racing in the Wednesday night event, so it looks like the safety car's come out. No confirmation of that just yet. For some strange reason, it's not showing the stats of safety car or virtual safety car quite yet. Walker in as well. So the one-stop window completely out of the window, so to speak, for these guys. So that's Jonathan Cox does take the lead. He has dropped just for once. We've got Extremist and Leclerc going opting for a cheap pit stop. They're going on the soft and medium tyre respectively. And can these tyres last to the end? I don't think the softs are going to be able to, completely honest with you. So as a safety car will take a lap to join up also, T-Bone is behind it. He's the race leader, up 16 positions. So he started from the back, championship leader. We've got Extremist. So he's on the hard tyre. He's one of the ones that gambled on the hard tyre. It's lap 11. He's got to make these tyres, theoretically now, go through to the end, which is possible. We've got Cyro in third. Very nice helmet for him in his racing point. He's on the softs. I don't think he's going to be able to make it through to the into the race. He's going to have to stop again. We've got Jules, who are pick of this race. He is going to be on fire behind Cyro on much older tyres. Actually, let's go on to the tyre interval just to show you exactly what these tyres have done. So 8 laps on there for Jules. So he's going to be all over the back of Cyro. Relatively similar length of tyres those two have done, and Jules going to be an absolute fire rocket at this restart, if you ask me. So Leclerc, he's the one that basically is now pitted. He's on brand new soft tyres, and again, I still don't think it's going to be questionable if those tyres can make it through. Maybe he didn't have medium tyres. Walker, he's led this race already today, opting for medium, so the battle between Leclerc and Walker going on to see who can finish the race on their set of tyres. Puppy, he's on the hards. He didn't stop. He's thinking that his cars can make it till the end of the race. There's still more than half distance to go in here. Puppy currently 7th. We've got Jared in 8th, sporting that beautiful Daniel Ricciardo helmet. Jared, he's one who stopped. He's thinking the medium tyres are going to last in his hatch. And we can see there who was that stringing for him to come in. He couldn't have pitted last lap because his teammate was already in. That's clever strategy from the Red Bull, not double stacking them. But unfortunately, Stringy will see his position go all the way down. Maybe he is going to be off of rolling the dice, the clever one in all this. He does fall down to the back. We'll reboot there. Puppy Jr. up to P9, the medium tyres for him. He did just stop, thinking again these tyres will go to the end. Now these guys have got to be careful in your safety car. We've seen a bug with this game where if you get too close to the car ahead of you, it will tell you illegal overtake. Optics, he's just stopped for the medium tyres. Mono, new boy today, he's P11, just outside the points. These tyres again for him. He's going to be again a rocket at this restart, as he always is. Max Smith down there, he's just stopped, hoping for points for his McLaren. Bottom of the point standings, he was our whole position leader. Flaming Nugget, he's done so well in the race. Unfortunately, we've seen him go from first to fourth as he catches the safety car, train back again. And so everyone's getting their tickets sorted out at the checkout counter. As you can see, Stringy just taking his time. Doesn't want to take any life out of these fresh medium tyres. And there we can see all the way down to 15th. So iFishes, is he even a lap down? Yes, he is. So hopefully for him, he will be allowed to pass the safety car and retain his lap back to theoretically put him right behind Stringy and not a lap behind everyone else. So that's a talk through the grid order. Now we are expecting to see a safety car come in relatively soon. I think it's the next or end of this lap. If not, it will definitely be next lap for the safety car. So, and we've seen there already, is that they all jostling for position. There might have been a glitch with the computer system, which I was just talking about. This happens when the cars get back into position and they're jostling for position behind the safety car. You get too close, the game unfortunately does tell you made an illegal overtake. As migrating host, that's Toon Fam is hosting it. That's the reason why we've seen him retire, as Jonathan Cox seems to be pushing the fast pedal down there for this safety car restart. As we can see, he's at the iFishes going all the way down the order. Jonathan Cox, successful restart from him out there in front. Jules is currently second. He's made up the place. Extremist down to third place. Styro in fourth. We've got Leclerc down in fifth position. He's battling for that podium position. And you can see Puppy all the way down there. He is having his own battles, as Puppy likes to do. In the sand pit, he's down to P13. He was on the verge of points in his racing point, and unfortunately he's been let off there. It looks like Optics has lost more ground as well, falling down the order. Big shame for him. as we'll go back to the lead of this race. And who is that battling? That's Walker, really trying to fight against Cyro, and Cyro's going to come in, and that's unfortunate for him, straight into the wall. He's going to be out of this race, Cyro out as well. Whoa, that was a big one, and don't be surprised if we see a safety car out for that one. For me, Cyro was battling the other car. They should have given each other room. I only saw it the once. So surely the stewards will be looking at that one. Does this force the safety car out? I would guess yes. This would actually be the third safety car we are having in this race. And it does look like it from the speed these drivers are going. So as we can see now, Jules decides to come in. That's what I would have done myself. T-Bone decided to stay out. GFO Leclerc decided to stay out as well, as has Jared. So big crash there into quite a very fast corner, and unfortunately we saw what can happen when drivers just don't get out of the way. Of course, everyone really trying to push them. The two Ferraris there, Extremist and iFishers, unfortunately they've got a double stack. That's not going to help the Mercedes out at all either. Of Jules, that's held him even further, and T-Bone is going to be very happy about that. Jules was held in his pit stops there for Mercedes a lot longer than what he should have been, because of the Red Bulls that were encroaching in. As we can see, iFishers now coming out of the pit lane. So that's confirmation. Cyro and Walker both out of the race. That means surely iFishers will get a chance to make up that lap again and come back. So big shame. Anyone that didn't see that incident, there was an incident between Cyro and Walker whilst battling for, what was that, for 6th position, I think it was, with optics down here on this part of the track we're looking at here, into what's this corner, the old first corner of the old Silverstone circuit, and there was only enough space for one car, not two, and unfortunately then, me personally, I only saw it the once. Unfortunately, it's one of these instances where Walker's gone for a gap. Either driver could have pulled out of it between him and Cyro. Unfortunately they haven't. It's caused impact, big impact. Walker straight off into the wall. We've seen Cyro in the wall as well from a massive blow, and there's going to be some work between those two. Honestly, I will be looking at that later myself, just to see exactly who really was to blame for that one. So as now we've got our leader again for the after the third safety car period. We've got T-Bone Jonathan Cox still out there. So he started from the back with the championship order. He's on relatively old now medium tyres, as we are watching. Oh, good old glitch with the Codemasters game, showing us all kinds of nonsense. Then we've got Stringy now coming into the pit lane. Jonathan Cox deciding to stay out. He's the leader in the Tuesday night race. We've got GFO Leclerc who's second. Good battling between these two. Now, can Leclerc make it at the restart? Relatively new relatively new stock tyres there for Leclerc. We've got older medium tyres for T-Bone. The tyres are not going to be able to make it until the end of the race. We've got Jared in third. He's in a good position on his mediums to really push the T-Bone on much older tyres. Can T-Bone sustain the pace of the two Haas cars behind him? Puppy on relatively new mediums as well, as is Mono in 5th position, Optics in 6th on again the same medium yellow stripe tyre. Matt Smith, who started from pole position, he is back up to 7th position again on the same 3-lapped medium tyres. We've got Puppy down there in 8th, and relatively old tyres, the oldest tyres on the cars out there. You've got Extremist down there in 9th position. 2 points for him currently. Brand new mediums he's opted for. Surely he can finish the race on those tyres. As can Jules, who is in 10th position. Now watch out for Jules coming back through the field. He's on his soft tyres. I don't think that the medium runners will be able to finish here. As you can see, Stringy and iFishers trying to come back through the field from the safety car restart. So yeah, drivers to look out for. It's going to be Jules, the Flaming Nuggets, the Stringy and iFishers coming back through the field. They're currently in 10th, 11th, 12th and 13th position. But they are going to be on relatively good tyres at the end of the race, as is Leclerc in 2nd. So can T-Bone hold it together for, what's that, 12 laps, maybe 11 laps after the safety car has come in, to see if he can win the Tuesday night Silverstone E-race tonight. Now, of course, I'm just trying to keep the tyre temperatures up, trying to keep the brake temperatures up, trying to save as much battery as possible. As you can see, T-Bone has been doing there. And that gap is going to have, he's got of course got the advantage of being out front, T-Bone. Now his tyres are really going to be pushing it. Puppy getting himself a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that's a big shame for him. So coming in, had enough of the hard tyre. And that is going to be a big penalty. Hopefully he can serve it in the pit lane, so it's not going to get added to his race finish. It has indeed, so at least then the penalty is going to be out of the window. Should come in again for tyres. Very strange for the Red Bull strategy. Surely now with, that was a server penalty, that's the reason why he's come in. So very good thinking there down at Red Bull, changing the front wing as well. So that's going to be him until the end of the race. So here again is going to be one to look out for, the back of the pack. But of course the better red striped tyre, he's going to be on at the end of this race. So it's all going to be down to, can they catch T-Bone out front? But Mylander in the Mercedes-Benz out front, he's had a lot of laps today. I think he's let more laps than anybody else. So maybe fastest lap of the race today should be to the Mercedes of Burt Mylander in virtual form. Safety car preparing to come in, we believe, on this lap. No official word yet. I've had a quick look through. Oh, apologies for optics. Correcting me, he did in fact start on pole, so apologies for that. And thank you very much to Ashley Armstrong for his comments about my commentating skills. So I haven't been in touch with Murray Walker, and if you're using the race buddy, I'll give you driver of the day just for that one comment. So unfortunately not everyone was able to keep it clean tonight. And Cyro, yeah, I do feel your pain, buddy, on that one. I might have to have a look at it again myself. Flaming Nuggets, well, his day goes from bad to worse, getting himself a penalty there for pit lane speeding. So, shame for him. That's confirmation safety car will be in on this lap. T-Bone will be trying to push the advantage. Now he has got it all to do. We're going to be riding with Leclerc for this restart. He is going to be the one to watch out for. Also watch out for Jewel down there in P9. He's going to be the second one on that soft red striped tyre as they're coming out into the last section here. Leclerc is keeping T-Bone relatively go, and T-Bone makes a fantastic restart as we can see down there. And it looks like he is going to be able to absolutely push. You can see drivers already losing positions. So Flaming Nuggets will decide to come in here as we are go again. Green flag racing at Silverstone. So Jonathan Cox does hold his lead. GFO is Leclerc in second. It's Jared in third. It's Puppy Jr. in fourth. Mono is holding on to fifth position. And when is George going to make his move? This is going to be the guy that I was talking to you about. So he's got all the guys right in front of him. All these guys were medium tyres. I'm also going to keep an eye on the gap for the lead. It's currently 8/10 of a second. I'll keep an eye on this. We can see the cars ahead. With Dyson for position, you can see optics saying, in fact, did start on pole position all over the back of Mono. And Mono is quite a stiff competitor. The gap for the lead down to 7/10 of a second. We'll rejoin that momentarily. As we can see, Stringy looks like he's out of the race. And Red Bull's day goes from bad to worse, unfortunately. Matt Smith losing down the position. He's got the Ferrari contender who wants to back out of this. Very mature driving from the both of them, him and the extremist, really keeping out of the way. As you can see, a Mercedes there, and it's Jewel we were talking about. Couldn't make his move there, gets himself a time penalty. Gap for the lead down to 6/10 of a second between Coxey and Leclerc. And this is where Jewel wants to be attacking. He needs to start attacking here. He's running out of laps, he's run out of ERS as well. The Ferrari ahead of the extremist. Then we've got Matt Smith in. And a mistake for Matt Smith around the outside of Stowe. That puts... I'm out of breath here, I have to say. So as Julie's out of ERS, I'm out of breath myself. Matt Smith trying to come back at Jules as we go into the last two corners. Jules up to P8. Now is he going to finish from the podium? I can see it happening. The gap for the lead down to 4/10 of a second. So it's not going to be this lap they get the DRS. You can see how close the gap is for the lead. You don't need me to tell you. I officially has left this session. Shame for him. So we've got 11 drivers left in the event for the 18 starters. So nearly everyone that finishes this race will get a prize Just flaming nugget, getting himself a time penalty right on cue. He wasn't happy with his penalties today, he wanted 3 seconds or more. It's a shame for him. As does the extremist that wants to join the penalty party. And that is going to be only for cutting track limits, which I did obviously talk about to you earlier in the broadcast. Optics is that losing the position as it showed on my screen there. Gap for the lead down to 5/10 of a second. We try to keep an eye on this battle. At the same time as talk to you through every other driver out there. DRS still not open. And this is the gap, it's down to 2/10 they come down the hanger straight. When does he want to brake here? Leclerc, it's around about 75 litres in there, gets off the gas. And you can just see the T-Bone's tyres just really not holding there. The tyres are going to be really talking him through this race. Squealing as they go through. It's Leclerc that currently holds the fastest lap of the race. It's an extra point for the AlphaTauri, and I did mention right at the start of the broadcast, expect to see big things from these guys today, and perhaps even an Alpha on top of the podium. So now he get the DRS. It's not as close as he was the last lap though. We can see now the extremist down there and Jules battling it out. He's going to have DRS here I should say, as is the extremist as they try and battle with Mono, and that was the battle there because he's 4th, 5th position. Trying on the outside. Unfortunately their extremist was a bit too clever there to fall for that old chestnut, we would say, my friend. As Jules now best seat of the house of this battle. Is he going to think about having a move here as the gap for the lead down to 3/10 of a second? He couldn't make a move here to Jules. Maybe on the next sequence of corners we'll see it. As we can see T-Bone taking some grass and more. And it's a DRS zone. It's Beckett's, Maggotts and Chapel. T-Bone goes right. He does give Lacing room. He's going to be on the outside. Does he make it? He's forcing him wide. And fantastic driving from the both of them to keep it on the black stuff and away from the green stuff. Leclerc, well, fantastic bit of driving from both of these two in the battle for the lead. And you can see how close it is. The tyres are going to be squealing. Surely this time Leclerc's going to get him. All kinds of closeness between them. He does. And T-Bone surely still fighting him. He's giving Racing room. He's going to get the inside. And I don't know how T-Bone has managed to hold that together. Problem is now, as you can see, as Leclerc, will get DRS down the next straight. He's going to be using all of his ERS battery to battle with T-Bone for what will be the overall race lead. He couldn't at this point. So we're going to see it through Beckett's, Maggotts and Chapel. I do want to have a quick look and talk you through Beckett's, Maggotts and Chapel, could say it properly. Beautiful sequence of corners, of course, shadows there in the Austin race as well. Talking about a fellow American as Mono is battling his own race there. He's done a position down to 6th place. Let's follow it through. Very flat in the opening part of this section. And this is where T-Bone's he just takes too much grass. And this has a massive implication all the way down the hanger straight. This time he's down to the outside again. Can he make it work on the outside? There's going to be contact between the two of them. Double contact there. Triple contact. Four. Thank God it's an E-car, because otherwise I think that Red Bull would have some cans in it. And this time T-Bone, unfortunate to do anything about Leclerc. He's going to get him back on the inside. You don't want to be there, T-Bone. Really happy to get out of it. Wow, now that was fun. That was absolutely fun watching those two battling it around there. T-Bone a bit more experienced there, working out and really getting out of it. Fantastic driving between him and Leclerc. Jared's going to be sitting there in 3rd position eating his popcorn, wanting a bit of the action himself, and T-Bone's still not done. More contact between these two. No damage just yet. Now you can understand why I'm focusing on the top 3 at the moment, so apologies for any drivers watching down there. And you can see now Jared wants to have a bit of the action. He's bought his ticket. And now he wants first class, Jared. He's not looking at a standard ticket. He wants to go straight in the buffet car. He wants first class, Jared. That's what he's after. His next target is going to be Jonathan Cox T-Bone in P2. He will, of course, the two of them ahead, or say himself and Jared will get the DRS coming up on this lap. They are pulling away from Puppy Jr. He's managed to get his race back together onto 4th place. Glad to see the puppy stops building sand castles for one day, or he's just joined back in the race. So these three will be pretty stagnant across there. As you can see, the gap is around about a second. So we'll go down the order really quickly. We've got Puppy Jr. in 4th position. Very mature drive for him today on the whole. We've got Extremist in 5th position. He's really been pushing here. Very good, very good for him. A few battles here and there. We've got Mono in 6th. Very impressive for his first outing in the Williams in the Tuesday night race. Matt Smith, who did start from pole, he's bottom of the point scorers, so very good for him today, and hopefully he can get some very well deserved points for his team. And of course, I'm not going to make the mistake there and say he started from pole position like I did earlier, so apologies to Optics again for that one. So Puppy there in 8th place. Now, of course, not going to have the bragging rights. It's Junior who's currently in P4. Maybe Junior needs to be teaching Senior some tricks of how to get the most out of these E-cars. Jewel has not finished there in 9th. He's not having as much impact as I thought he would be in 9th position. I thought he'd be flying through the field right now, as you've seen him do it in the Friday night race. And obviously this just goes to show the big difference here between the gold and the bronze league. Of course, the bronze league, the drivers are trying to push their way through. Jewel was in the Friday night league and has really made his name in the last 2 weeks. 2 victories. Doesn't look like be a victory today, and there's something very dramatic happens out there. We saw him come back through the field as Matt Smith gets himself a time penalty, part of the time penalty squad. You should see a move here from Jewel on Puppy, not to make Puppy's life any more worse than what it has been today. He's just lost himself another point down there as he falls down to P9. Shame for him. He's not done though, he's going to be battling him back. He's going to be battling back. This is the battle for 8th position we're looking at. We've got Flaming Nuggets. Now, I think he wants some fries with his Nuggets because he's been quite quiet and mean in the part of this race on his flaming tyres. We've seen all his flaming tyres today, Flaming Nuggets. But there will be some very well deserved points for him and his many battles back to the pit lane, as Optics having his own race out there. He's gone for a Sunday afternoon stroll and he doesn't want to be that side of the green stuff, and that's the reason why he's got himself another time penalty. So hopefully he can come back. As we can see now, we're back to the leader in the form of Leclerc. He's really pushed the option today. Come back through the field. Makes very well for himself. He's got 4 laps to go. He made the pit stop at the best time. T-Bone's going to be regretting this now, but the thing is, can he make his tyres last the 4 remaining laps? He's got Jared relatively close to him, so he may fall down to 3rd place. He seems to have the measure. It's what, 7 laps is the difference between the 2 tyres compounds, as we can see there. Matt Smith and Jewel finally makes the move on Matt Smith. He will get DRS Danstow corner at the end of the lap, as he will start his 24th lap. And asking for more points, of course, his first real runner, it looks like, Jewel, in the Tuesday night events. He's trying to get used to the circuit, and he makes a mistake into that last corner. Big mistake there from Jewel. It looks like his front wing has gone tubby bye-byes. In fact, it has. The front right of that Mercedes has definitely gone for a burden. So Flaming Nuggets, surely he's going to be asking for milkshake and fries with his Flaming Nuggets at the moment, because he's about to get his points doubled from 1 point to 2 points. As now the gap for 2nd place is closing in. It's down to 7/10 of a second. Flaming Nuggets, well, I told you he was after some fries with his Nuggets. He's joined the penalty club as well, getting himself another 3 seconds, and that's 9 potentially for Flaming Nuggets. Hope he doesn't get any more today. Have a quick look at the comments just to see. Obviously, thank you very much for everyone that has joined us today. Absolute pleasure to have you with us all. And my voice is absolutely nearly gone, so thank God for me it is lap 24. Matt Smith getting himself more penalties. And it has stayed dry at Silverstone. As you can see, Jared really pushing it out of the last corner. And you can see those medium tyres really starting to come to the end. So if he's done 13 laps on his tyres, just imagine what T-Bone's going to be feeling of Jonathan Cox doing 20 laps on those medium tyres. Let's have a quick look just to basically see who's got the fastest lap of the race. I don't think anyone has. I think it was Leclerc the last time I checked. No, it's not telling me anything. George getting himself a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He'd be going for, well, of course, changing his front wing and fastest lap. So a really baptism of fire for George today. He's out of ERS. He's not going to be needed in the pit lane. And I think Mercedes there are not going to be happy with this performance at all. New front wing, 5-second penalty. It didn't look like it was served in the pits either. With 2 laps to go, that is going to be Optics there getting a point off George. So the pole sitter looks like he will be getting a point for 10th place. He's got a lap to go, of course, before that is confirmed. George coming out of the pit lane now. He is going to be a man on a mission for the final point today. As we can see, GFO starting here, GFO Leclerc starting his white flag lap. So white flag lap, he's starting it. He's got Jonathan Cox in second. He's 2.3 seconds behind the leader. And it's the fact that the tyres really have let him down today. Potentially a poor choice from Red Bull has cost him. But of course, very, very good from the top 2, making it from P1 or from what back and second back of the grid respectively. So right back for these 2. Very good driving from them. The gap in 3rd position for Jared. He's going to be off his first class service and wants P2 off Jonathan Cox. The amount of opportunities he's got is steadily coming down because of the amount of DRS zones available here at Silverstone. He will get one more chance going around to Stoke Corner, which will try and keep feud of. Extremist is in 4th. Very good day for him. Puppy in 5th in the Haas. He's not happy with 5th. He wants 4th. As Mono having his own race down there in 6th. You've got Matt Smith in 7th. You've got Puppy in 8th. Flaming Nuggets 9th. And Optics still looks like he's getting his well-deserved point in 10th position. As we can see, this is going to be the battle. We'll go flip back to Leclerc in 1 second to see can T-Bone hold on to 2nd position. And this is going to be the hat all over him. And he does get it. So fantastic driving for him. Jared does push it when it matters. Hopefully the penalties won't prevail. As we can see there, he does seem to be holding it. As it's GFO, Leclerc, that comes now. Fantastic race from him. He wins the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. It's Jared that finishes 2nd in the Haas. T-Bone couldn't hold it and finishes 3rd on the road with his gone tyres. Extremists were waiting for in 4th position. Fantastic for him. Using all of his DRS to protect his 4th place. It will be 4th for Extremists. It's Puppy Jr. in 5th, not counting on countbacks, and Mono is about to come across the line in 6th. He gets promoted to 5th, Puppy Jr. down to 6th, and can Puppy Senior? He can't. So Matt Smith finishes 7th, it's Puppy in 8th, it's Flaming Nuggets 9th, it's Optics that should be coming across the line in 10th position for the one and only point to be scored today. So again, Optics is just about to come across the line, and then we're going to have George. He couldn't make it matter on the last couple of laps. So all in all, I mean, fantastic race from all of them out there. Driver of the day is going to be a tough one in my opinion. Absolutely tough one if you ask me. You're going to have to give it to Leclerc. Leclerc, if you ask me, is driver of the day. He's been fantastic. He was on the right tyre at the right time. He's come back through the field. Very, very well done to Optics. We can see they're promoted to 9th. As the Codemasters do agree with me that he gets driver of the day. And it looks like, as we're looking at the podium ceremonies, that Codemasters does in fact agree with my own decision there of driver of the day. And as said earlier, we in fact do not have the British flag on the podium, which is one of the very rare things I did bet at the start of today's race. So again, a very, very well done. Congratulations to GFO Leclerc. Also fastest lap, so that's going to be 26 points to add to his account today. Just for a 3-second penalty. It didn't matter too much in the end. It's Jared's good start from second behind him. Fantastic race from him. T-Bone third, Extremis fourth, Mario fifth, Puppy Junior in sixth, Matt Smith seventh, Puppy down in eighth. It's Optics ninth, and Flaming Nuggets gets the point for 10th position. Jewel is the first driver to finish and not get points. So, Drivers' Championship, of course, it will still be the same up front. T-Bone will still lead the Drivers' Championship, not as many points as he would want. And of course, Leclerc shaving some points off T-Bone today. So, thank you very, very much for everyone for joining us. It's been a very, very frantic and very enjoyable session to take you through from. So, from myself, Scrappy Doo, and everyone else at RRC's Tuesday Night Racing, thank you very much for watching. Again, congratulations to the top three. And most of all, thank you very much to everyone that's watching. And we'll see you again very soon.